Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Bespoke channel. Still on the shoe series or footwear series, we're going straight into the Bespoke chapter. We looked at ready to wear the last couple of sessions, and we're going to run a bespoke theme in parallel. So with that, let's just get straight down to it. Now, what is a bespoke shoe? A bespoke shoe is a shoe that is made specifically for your feet. Now, most of us buy shoes from stores, and most of the time they don't fit. We think they fit, and a lot of people go through a lifetime wearing shoes that don't actually fit. You can achieve 80% fit to your foot if you have regular or normal feet, but you will never achieve 100% fit except you go bespoke or sort of semi-bespoke. Now, what is bespoke? This is something called a last. A last is the shape of your foot. And so with bespoke, what happens is that your foot is traced. The shoemaker traces your foot and measures your foot and creates something called a last out of a thick piece of wood, and it's shaped exactly like your foot. And this is going to be the pattern with which your shoe is going to be made, and it's going to be unique to you and you alone. Now, this is a shoe tree and not an actual last, but a shoe last is shaped similarly to a shoe tree, and it follows all the contours of your specific foot. So that is what bespoke shoemaking entails. Now, there's also something called semi-bespoke, right, or modified bespoke. And what they do in that case is that you take a standard last, right? A last is a piece of wood, this piece of wood used to manufacture the shoes, and your foot is measured and traced onto this standard last, and it is modified. You try the shoes on this specific last, and it's modified to suit your foot. So say for instance you have a shallow instep. This standard last is shaved down a little bit. It's shaved down to suit your lower instep. So let's say you have a narrow heel, for instance. A standard last can be shaved down to accommodate your narrow heel, for instance. So let's say you have a wider forefoot, for instance. A standard last can then be, it can add cork, a material called cork, which is like wood. It's added to this standard last to create additional volume in front to suit your specific foot. So this is the difference between pure bespoke, which is creating an entirely new last out of a block of wood for your foot, versus modified bespoke, where they take a standard last and it is sanded down and filled out with cork to meet essentially an approximation of your foot. It's never going to be 100% bespoke, or it's not going to feel like 100% bespoke, but it's going to be much better than ready to wear. And one more thing to consider is the cost. Bespoke shoes are very expensive. They can cost as much as 6,000-7,000 euro for a pair. With modified bespoke, they're still not cheap, but you're getting something that is close to a good fit or close to a perfect fit for what is in effect a fraction of the cost of bespoke. So with that, let's go straight into it. Now, this is a pair of shoes. If you come closer, this is a pair of shoes I just received. Go a bit further back. This is a pair of shoes I just received from a shoemaker who makes bespoke shoes as well as ready-to-wear, as well as semi-bespoke shoes. Now, the idea is to get us closer to what is a proper fit for a person like me who has flat feet. So what we've done is that we've identified a close fit, right? So we've identified a close fit to what would be my regular fit. Now the idea is these are trial shoes. I will try on these shoes and find out or sort of identify where the problem areas are. And then these shoes are going to be sent back to the factory. A last is going to be created. Well, there's a standard last for this size and this shoe. And now based on our observations and sort of this video and taking notes, we're going to modify the last on which these shoes were made. And then I'm going to have my own modified last. It's going to be a personal last that mimics my own foot. And then a trial shoe is going to be created based on that last, and hopefully that gets us closer to what a true bespoke shoe should feel like. So we're going to try on these shoes, and then we'll see how they fit, and then we'll go from there. Take off my house slippers. So as you can see, because of my flat feet, I need these insoles to give me a bit of support, and that's because I have no arches, so which is why I can rarely wear shoes off the rack. And this is what we're trying to fix by going bespoke, is to eliminate the need for wearing these devices inside my shoes. So usually I would, for dress shoes, I will use sort of thinner or dressier insoles again to create an arch. But let's see how these shoes fit without an insole, because this manufacturer is noted for sort of having very high arches, which essentially are what people with flat foot require. So let's see how their arch works, and if it's close enough to use them as a base for my semi-bespoke adventure. Put this aside. We'll lace it up. And lace this up. Now, if you come a bit closer, you can already tell, look at this. I've never had shoes fit so well. Usually, because I have a low instep, once I put on the shoe, everything collapses in, and the arch also collapses. So you can see these shoes have an arch, despite me not wearing, or my not wearing, any sort of support inside. So they're built, the natural structure of these shoes are built for someone with flat feet, because they've cut it very narrow in the waist, and it's got like a very good arch to support my flat feet. And also you can see that here I have a little bit of space here. So this seems like a decent model to start off with. It will require some adjustment, but it's going to be maybe 20-30% worth of work versus some other shoes that basically, you know, you don't even get anywhere with. So let's walk around a little bit. Let's look at the feet. You can see from the feet, there are no holes. Usually with flat feet, what happens is that your foot collapses inwards, and then there are holes here. Holes appear on the side of your heel, which causes heel slip. But when you have a firm arch, this is all locked up and it holds your heel in place. So this is the first time actually I'm wearing shoes, really, since I started wearing shoes, where without an arch support, I basically have already, I don't have these holes requiring, causing slippage in the heel. So let's walk again. So, ladies and gentlemen, bring it up. I think we might be onto something here, because the base model works. I'm almost 70% there, just based on the base model. It feels a bit tight in the front, so I might need a bit more width in the front of the last here. I might need a little bit of width here, maybe a tad bit more length, but it fits perfectly from here on in the heel. It fits here. Basically, we can see here that we're almost there. We're about 70% there. The basic model works. It has an arch. I have essentially a snug fit in the heel. I just need a bit more room here in the forefoot So this is going to be modified from here up, maybe a bit more length, and maybe just sort of a bit more modification in the instep, just to give me a bit of a wider V here. Otherwise, the fit in the heel is snug, the support is good in the arch, it looks good, it feels good through the ball of the feet, and I have just a little bit room needs to be created in front. So that's about it. I'm gonna send these shoes back to them. They're going to look at the pictures and this video, and they're going to recreate another trial shoe. It's gonna take a few weeks. They're gonna create a trial shoe, which is gonna be sent back to me, and I'm gonna try these shoes again, and if it's closer or perfect, then we can sort of save that last as my unique last, and then that becomes essentially my last for life. So this is one way to get around sort of the bespoke thing. Bespoke shoes, like I said, are very expensive. The modified bespoke process, it's a bit of a trial and error to get there. It will get you close to bespoke, maybe 90-something%. And for most people, that's good enough. So that's about it. Thank you for watching, and let you know how this goes. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.